Hey, you got the Retro Gaming Hippie here. It's been a while. I've been busy, but it's Mother's Day, and I believe it. Yes, Mother's Day. In honor of Mother's Day, my mother was a big wrestling fan. She actually took me to see Hulk Hogan, which had to be about 1986 in Portland, Oregon, because he was wrestling King Kong Bundy. And I even got a piece of his shirt from that, but that did not survive. So I thought I would share my wrestling collection that I have right now, and a little bit of other toys I have, and some things I picked up, and some things that I can't display yet because I got no room. My favorite wrestler nowadays, you see him, the Macho Man. Of course, that's a custom towel I had made somewhere, beach towel, but it's dang cool. Backpack toy box. These are all the guys I thought were best as good guys as far as LJN line. Macho Man, of course, my favorite. This is the second series of the OPG card ones that it looks like a lot of people pay good money for them now. I snagged them like it wasn't even a year ago at a really good deal off of eBay for both sets, but I was going to display them with my figures, but my figures don't stand very well. These are the guys that I thought would always make best heels. Or if they would have been put in a heel role, would have been best. Especially Bruno Sammartino. If you watch old school wrestling, man, imagine if he was like this heel that could destroy anybody. But, you know, you also didn't know back then who could take the belt off of him if he didn't want to give it up either. You know, Bruno probably could have had that persona, but he was probably way over, you know, being as a good guy. This poster came from a really cool selection of magazines that I got just before I left Washington State and moved back down to Oregon, where I'm from. And I'll show you those in a minute. It's something like local event in the 90s up in Snohomish. Of course, I got Mo2 stuff. Knockoff puppet Hulkster. Only Hasbros I have are the Macho Man because I dumped my Hasbros. I want to stick LJN, except for the Macho Man. Miscellaneous 80s cool toys. The buddies, the ring ropes. The ropes are not in good shape. My thumb wrestlers. Some bandies. The board game, which I might review that down the road. Battlestar Galactica, really cool show, man. If you were a kid, early 80s, late 70s, yeah, I think it might have ended early 80s. Even Galactica 1980, there you go. It was a cool show to watch on TV. Trust me, you go back and watch it, it might look cheesy or something, but think about in that time. It was a really cool show. And those are missile firing, of course. Deadly Toys. That's my wrestling stuff, man, except for my reading material. Of course, I got two of the toy boxes. They're empty, though. This is all the magazines that I picked up in that lot that had that poster. Basically everything you see in that rack except for these Laserdisc DVDs or Laserdiscs that I picked up a little while ago just for the display. But yeah, it was like a huge stack of magazines. Pro Wrestling Illustrated was one of my favorites as a kid. I'd buy and read it all the time. That's how I knew about NWA because I never saw it before, AWA and all that. It's stacked up behind them too. They're deep. The WWF magazines are only cool because I can look at the merchandise, which I love, but I can't get. And I can search for things I know exist, but probably will never find. Had a couple calendars. And it was a steal. She was asking $200, and I said, man, all I could pay is $100 because I was pretty poor at the time, to be honest with you. And she took it. It took like 3 or 4 weeks before we got to that point. So I think it's a steal, but it stayed out there a while. Some recent pickups around town. Some things were game shops. Mostly the games were local games, side quest games. Local game shop I've talked about before, really cool place. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, a lot of nostalgia along with the FIFA. Starflight and Star Control were two of my favorite old school games. And all these controllers, man, it comes in waves at my local thrift store. these were all in there, and I'm a PlayStation guy, and I didn't even know they had a red one. Not super rare, but I was like, 50% off at $3, $1.50, I'll buy all these controllers. And of course I picked up this at the game store. I'm loving that top loader, guys. So if you ever get into gaming, anybody watch this, get a top load if you're gonna go Nintendo. This dog bone controller it just fits nice. Well, that's most of my games and toys and stuff, but my box of He-Man, I'm not going to open up all the figures. A couple cases, they're empty, but all the figures are in the bin. Some newer stuff in a bin full of miscellaneous weapons that go with all the He-Man stuff that I ain't got room for. Maybe I'll open it up. Oh, those are the Star Wars child I got from my niece for Christmas. I just got them in the box because they were in the box, and I figured, well, maybe somebody would like them in the box besides my niece, and then I can get her something else. Well, there you have it. That's my collection of mostly wrestling because I love the wrestling, and of course I love Mo too, but wrestling and my mom had a connection, and something everybody doesn't know about the hippie, it's just part of life, but I lost my mom when I was about 10 years old to cancer, so it kind of connects with the toys because this is the toys I got at that time frame, the toys we interacted with, and just builds a really good connection and stuff. Of course, wrestling's pretty awesome, at least it was pretty awesome, and YouTube has it on it for free, so have fun out there. Good luck on your hunts, and remember, I don't buy nostalgia because I am nostalgia.